Hello there, folks. It's me, RJB, with an important message for you today, because we're gonna look at Lucky against nOtable. Or maybe it's called nOtable, I'm not sure. Maybe it's notable, it's nOtable, I don't know. The meaning kind of changes depending on how you pronounce it, but I'm not sure what he means with it. So what do I know about these two players that are playing Zerk against Terra? Let's first look at the spawn locations. Got Hemorrhoids Man, which is a Lucky Back, here on the pink Magenta, now on the red Zerk. And here we got the blue Terran nOtable, or notable. I'm just gonna call him notable, a little easier than nOtable, but I would have to ask the guy, what did he mean? So what do I know about these two players? Well, this is kind of what I know. Lucky Back, he's fast, he honestly has one of the most amazing game senses out of anyone I've seen so far on fastest map. I mean, he's considered to be one of the all-time greatest fastest map players, so goes to say his game sense would be amazing. Otherwise, he wouldn't be one of the best fastest players of all time. And he just always, whatever he sees on his screen, he always finds a way to use it to his advantage. I mean, not always, but most of the times he finds some pretty creative ways to use it to his advantage. And about nOtable, I know absolutely nothing. So there's honestly nothing I can say about him. Just absolutely nothing I can say. So someone in the comments recently asked me if I could do more Protoss against Protoss and Zerk against Terran. I thought, let's kick things off with some Zerk against Terran, because I'll be honest, not a lot of players play this matchup. It's just not very popular. Not many people play it. I mean, it's easy to find for me, but it's difficult for me to find Zerk against Terran games that are a little bit longer, because most of the times they kind of end pretty quick. One of the two players, like the Zerk, just goes all in pretty early on, or the Terran goes all in pretty early on, and the game is over. They're not very long games in general. So Lucky Back here goes for double hatchery, pull, no choke. That's the way he goes. No choke. This guy never chokes. This guy has got nerves of steel. Nerves of steel. And notable here, double barracks, academy there on the way, already mining gas, and the Marine there is walking right into that entrance, but I was expecting a hatchery in the choke, because most people do not go for a chokeless Zerk. They get a hatchery there in the front, right here, and start building Sunkets there in the front. So nOtable is kind of hurting himself here in his confusion, because he is expecting to find hatcheries in the choke, and little does he know, there's no hatchery in the choke. And he's gonna go for full scouts now. He just didn't fully scout this one base. And well, maybe these other bases as well. He just scouted the entrances. So only after he scouts every single entrance is he gonna go for full scouts. There's already a sunken there for a Lucky Back, got a lair on the way, getting another sunken there as creep color number 2 is getting morphed. We're now kind of, oh, that's a very early factory there coming out from nOtable. I've got high expectations from nOtable. I don't exactly know who he is. Maybe he is just nOtable, maybe he is just himself, maybe he's someone else, I just don't know. I couldn't find out who it is, but I just wanted to cast Zerk against Terran with two good players, and I do know that he's a good player. I do know that he's a really good player. That's a starport already on the way. He's going for a very fast factory starport. He went for the factory before the stim, and then with stim after the factory started, then again a machine shop, and now a starport. I wonder if he's going to go for vessels, or if he's going to go for something else. Lucky Back going for Zerkling speed, which actually just plays perfectly into what nOtable is doing, because on double barracks production you don't have a lot of Marines, but there are 2 Firebats and 2 medics in the mix, which might be troublesome for the Zerklings, unless the Zerklings get pretty much an instant kill on the Firebats. They have to get more or less an instant kill on the Firebats. nOtable feels that something is not up, that something is not entirely smelling, good. Something is smelling fishy, so he turns back and recenters around into that choke point. Mass Zerklings moving in. The SCV from earlier saw the Zerklings. Zerklings are dancing back and forth. You can see the Marines there with the Overlord. Got great vision over this choke point. And nOtable is kind of sealing off the entrance pretty well. He responded to that situation pretty damn well. So he went for a starport. Now there's... He's building an engineering bay and a barracks. Not entirely sure what he's planning on doing. He's got siege mode on the way and a siege tank finishing up as well. Control tower there, finish up for the starport. We've got a science facility being built there in the back. So he's going for vessels, I assume. Lucky back now droning up really hard. nOtable is kind of forced to stay back here. He doesn't have enough units to push into Lucky space because there's too many Zerglings at the moment. Too many Zerglings at the moment waiting for him to enter. And Lucky back, of course, waiting for the magical surround attack. Or maybe he's just going to run past and go for a backstab attack. Can the tank there behind... Okay, nOtable response. Lucky back is just going to kill the tank, pulls the remaining Zerglings back. Didn't want to lose too many of his Zerglings to the fire bats or the tank beyond the hill. So it's actually a really good choice because the tank beyond the hill is also firing on the tank that was in front of the hill. So that was a good choice. Hive is on the way. Hive then is taking fire, but oh, he's getting us around there. Marines have nowhere left to go. Lurkers are burrowing up. nOtable tries to retreat, tries to walk around, but the Lurkers are sealing up the vicinity. Lurker stays alive on very little HP there. Well, actually quite a lot. So he's hunting him down, pushing him deeper into the corner. Those Marines are dead and gone. He's just going to walk over. He's going to try to run around. But can't run around those Lurkers. Those boys hit hard and precise. So now it's going to be a counterattack. Zerglings there. Oh, there's no vision beyond the hill. So he can't shoot from beyond the hill. Lurkers burrowing up. Marines intercepting the attack. Two medics are still alive on the top. Hive is finished up. Only 640 into the game, so that's a very, very, very fast Hive. Got a Great Aspire now on the way, and so is the Filer Mount and Burrow. So Lucky back there playing a very solid and smart Zerg against Terran. nOtable is now adding on a second command center because his SV count is low. He simply... Oh, he walks right into the Lurkers. Didn't expect him to be there. Caught him by surprise. Brave in the air. Didn't go for a vessel first, just wants to kill some Overlords hanging on the hills. And he gets some Overlord kills pretty successfully. Vessel there detecting the Lurkers. Lurkers running away from the tank. Marines are also pushing forward. They kind of like what nOtable is doing. He seems and appears to be a pretty solid player so far. But Lucky back has such a good game sense. I've already seen a lot of very good, impressive movements from Lucky back. He never commits to a bad fight. He snipes another tank. Gonna try to get as much damage on the bunker as he can. Can't kill it there though, but at least he tried something. Those Zerglings, killing the tank with those Zerglings is all you have to do. Pushing on those Lurkers, a lot of Marines getting mowed down. Most of the Marines got mowed down, but a couple Marines still alive, and so is his siege tank. Lucky back is building a lot of hatcheries there in the back on 40 drones at the moment. Zerglings trying to hunt down that tank, can't quite get it. He's building a Sunken there in the front, gonna snipe that down. Lurkers are morphing, but Lurkers are gonna take some fire the moment they finish with morphing. Zerglings spawn first though, and they're gonna take some fire away from the Lurkers if those Lurkers have finished at that instant. And they do finish up, gonna burrow up. There's a radiate coming down on the drones. Drone kills the drone with his own drones. And the Marines get taken down. Tank also gets taken down. Lurkers have to retreat. No, they're moving forward. Very aggressive move there. Gonna try to kill all of this as fast as he can. Marines do go down. Marines do retreat. Tank stays alive. Very intense fighting happening. Both these players are playing pretty much non-stop attacking, non-stop fighting. They're playing as if they can always kill their opponent at any time. It's always super well micro fight so far. Both players have amazing micro. Tank getting repaired. Tank stays alive. It's gonna go down right now though. But it was a beautiful repair. A lot of attention to micro detail. A lot of attention to control from both players. So Wraith there comes in, Mutalisk in the air, take down the Wraith. But the Marines behind the Wraith there though are providing some good support. A couple of misclicks there on the micro from Lucky back. But Lucky back is still alive, still in the race. nOtable is now in the lead with his workers. He's built himself a nice lead, getting more starports, more factories. His production his macro is actually super good. Look at his minerals never going very, very high. He's spending like an absolute madman. It's actually, like, for the amount of actions he's putting into controlling these Marines, vessels, and SCVs here on the scene, how fast he is spending is actually insane. Lucky back now with the Guardians in the air, pushing on the Marines and the turrets and the tanks. They don't even stand a chance, and he's clearing out the base. Base secured. nOtable is going for yet another attack. No medics with the Marines though. That's an oversight from nOtable there. And those Guardians in the air are pretty damn good against Marines. Marines are coming in for an attack. Zerglings are attacking from the ground. They're getting us around there on Marines. Marines are defending this really well. But there's simply too many Zerglings, too many Guardians. The entire Guard army from nOtable gets wiped from the face of the earth. But right there saves the day. He's gonna kill... Oh, never mind. Two Scourges there. Scourges, I mean. Two Scourges there take down the Wraith. So yeah, a lot of action happening. And both players spending like absolute madman. And Luckyback somehow stays alive. That situation there was closer than it appeared. But he played it perfectly. And nOtable tried to play it just as perfectly as he could. But just like, Luckyback just made no mistakes. Not a single mistake was made. Like sometimes as a Terran you can play perfect, but your opponent also plays perfect, which winds up in these stalemate situations where both players are kind of just pushing against an immovable wall from two different directions. Actually, recently I read a comment on a video that said that in every single situation, only one player can play perfect and the other cannot. Because in order to play perfect, the other has to lose something. In which case, it is no longer perfect. So in every single situation, in every single fight between two players, this comment argued that only one player can play perfect, the other will have to lose something. Something more than the other. I kind of disagree. I think that both players can play a situation perfectly and still come out equally. nOtable is having some trouble building SCVs though, but his macro with his army and his factories with his starports has been extremely solid. There's no armories yet though. He really does need armories for upgrades. That's kind of the big weakness I'm now spotting in nOtable's play. Triple command center now. Minerals are growing a little bit higher. He's trying to push through the front door, but pushing through a lurker swarm with vessels and tanks is pretty darn difficult. And Luckyback is building protection for his drones, so nOtable did appear to try some radiates, because I do see that the drones are unstacked, so he tried to radiate, which I missed, but no drones went down, because he's getting some adequate protection. He also has pretty good responses to those radiates. nOtable is hunting those defilers. There's a lot of burrowed Zerglings and defilers here, which makes it difficult to differentiate. Is it a Zergling? Is it a defiler? Like, it's got them all burrowed up right next to each other. I kind of like that. So, a lot of attention to detail, and very creative use of spells and abilities from Luckyback. The Dark Swarm there stays up in the front. nOtable is maxing out all supply block at the moment, getting his armories, 4 starports, 4 factories. It's looking a bit like a mess, but he's putting the pressure onto Lucky, or at least he's forcing Lucky to keep his eyes focused on this choke, because the Dark Swarm ending will kill a lot of lurkers, because there's so many tanks prepared here on the scene to kill those lurkers as soon as the Dark Swarm ends. Luckyback is spamming out hatcheries really quickly. We're only 13 minutes in, 67 drones, he's getting richer and richer, filling out the remaining gas as well, currently mining from 6, and there's 4 more to fill out. Some Guardians are morphing in the back. Scorch keep hunting down those vessels, they all went down, but more are being prepared here back at home. Now, I do think nOtable needs a couple more SCVs, maybe at about 70, maybe even about 75. 58 might not do the trick. Also, might need a couple more factories and starports, because at some point, Luckyback's production is going to be absolutely crazy with how many hatcheries he currently has. Like, I count 12 right here and 3 in the top, so that's 15 hatcheries. That is, in my opinion, quite a big amount of hatcheries for a Zerg against Terran. Radiates there on top of the Guardians. It's actually a pretty old school way of dealing with the Guardians. Like, a lot of players these days go for Valkyries. Back in the past, people used to rely more on Radiates to kill the Guardians. It's a little bit slower, but at least the Devourers cannot screw with your Valkyries. Because Valkyries are pretty damn weak against Devourers. So this is also a pretty surefire way of dealing with Guardians, just a little bit slower than with Valkyries. Given the condition, of course, that Devourers are not on the map. Well, I've been ignoring the upgrades. It says 1 air attack there on the Guardians. We have 2 attack there on the Marines. No attack upgrades there on the tanks yet because he has 2 armories. And he's getting level 1 tank attack, but no armor yet. Well, there's a lot of tickling happening here. Like, both players are trying to gain some small advantages here on this choke point. But so far, nOtable has not really been able to put his foot down and build a strong foothold to push from, as Lucky has killed the tanks beyond the hill, which nOtable really needs to have a very strong control over this choke point. That Lucky Back is keeping him from entering with the perpetual, never-ending Dark Swarm Lurker. So more hatcheries coming down. It's going to be a total of, I think that's 16 in this bottom section. It's got all the technology there on the top side, finishing up his upgrades as well. Zerglings are currently on 1 Carapace, no attack. Hydralisks are currently on 1-1. And the Mutas there in the air will soon have Carapace and attack upgrade happening as well. So the Fezzes are waiting on the side. He wants to try and radiate the drones, but so far he has not been allowed to get in very far. It might look like nOtable doesn't quite know how to proceed. He's just going to build mass factories on the middle. Well, actually, he does know how to proceed because that's dropships. And he's going to put tanks in them and try to drop from the top right corner. Like maybe fly in those vessels. First, let's take out the Guardians. Guardians are kind of a threat to tanks on the low ground, so let's take out the remaining Guardians and clear the skies. Although we've got a mass Multisk bomb there waiting to strike on that command center of nOtable, who has no Valkyries, and Valkyries are the #1 counter to Mulisks, and I don't see any Valkyries anywhere in the air. So mass factory on the middle. Got some Guardians in the air, attacking, trying to clear the tanks, but kind of getting distracted by the turrets there on the side. Radiates take care of those Guardians. Tanks on the high ground are zoning the Hydralisks away. Got some tanks loading on the low ground. So why try to break through the front? We can try to just fly across the hill. But now Mulisks are doing exactly that. Flying across the hill, going for the command center attack. Gonna get the infested command center as well. The command center is gonna get taken down. Oh, there it is. That's 1 down. Gonna go for #2. Gonna throw down some radiates, but kill his own SCVs in the process. Lucky Back very quickly responding. He's like, you're radiating my Mulisks. Goodbye SCVs. They're all dead and gone. He's only got the SCVs left on the gas and in the middle of the map. The Mulisks and the Queens have done their job. He's building infested Terrans as well. I've never actually seen infested Terrans do anything in a fastest game at high level. It's just kind of just standing there. Oh, it's going to go for the supply depots. Bam, that's 1. And they're all dead. Wow, that's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. And now there's SCVs there. As soon as another one spawns, they're going to die as well. Fight happening here on the side. Dark Swarms on the low ground. Nothing inside though, but the Mutas in the air are going to try to clear out the tanks. So both the infested command centers are going to get taken down there by the Marines and the tanks. So sadly, only 1 infested Terran amounts to doing anything at all. Guardians are pushing on the hill here though. Not enough radiates to take on all the Mutas and the Guardians. Got Valkyries now joining the fray to make sure that the heirs are in the possession and under control of nOtable. But now mass Zerglings on the low ground. The tech switch is going to go the cheapest unit and spam it out and send it across and clear out the middle of the map first. Because the front here is pretty well protected by some tanks, a bunker, and some Marines. So the main command centers have been taken down. Lucky is in a great position to take over control of the game. nOtable not gonna... nOtable, is he gonna give up? yeah, I think nOtable's gonna give up. I think he knows this is the game. He's gonna try to push from the side here. Go for a final radiate on those drones. See if he can hit them. Can he hit him? He's not burrowing. He's ignoring the drones that are getting radiated. Loses 50 of them. But does he care? I don't know, because it looks like he's already won the game. And I think nOtable knows this fact. nOtable knows that LuckyBag has already won the game. More Guardians coming across. Getting some Devars as well. A lot of radiates on the Guardians. Slowly burning the Zerglings in the front. Mowing everything down as they see fit. Everything in their eyesight getting mowed down, destroyed, obliterated. All the tanks are dead and gone. Supply below 85. Vessel just hanging there in the air. It's largely just Zerglings streaming across. And that's GG. I think nOtable's gonna call GG anytime now. LuckyBag just persevered, sealed him out of his base, locked him out, and took over the game kinda quick. That was really, really well played there from LuckyBag. But we've got more games than just one. Got more games than just one. Let's go into game number 2 and see who is going to win that one. Is it going to be nOtable? Is it going to be LuckyBag? They're both playing on the exact same races, Zerg against Terran. And I do hope for nOtable that he's going to have a little bit more success with game number 2, because in game number 1, he got close to killing LuckyBag in the early phases of that game. But as soon as the game left the early phases and entered the late phase, or the mid phase and the late phase, LuckyBag never gave control of the game back to nOtable. So yeah, being able to play early game Zerg as effectively as LuckyBag did gives you a lot of freedom, because you can prevent a lot of damage, which is kind of what Terran is looking for. Terran kind of wants to damage the Zerg pretty early on and prevent the Zerg from ever growing bigger and bigger and bigger. Kind of like the Terran wants to always stay ahead in supply count, in economy, in army size. And if you as a Zerg can prevent any significant amounts of damage from happening to your base, your economy, or whatever, you're gonna go bigger than the Terran pretty damn fast, because you can just throw down hatcheries and get a huge drone count pretty damn fast. So nOtable, what is nOtable going to do? I smell a command center. He's saving up money. Supply depot on the side. It's going to be command center first. He's planning on switching things up, but probably felt that he didn't have enough economy in the previous game. And the thing with command center first Terran is that, yeah, you do get a bigger economy, but you also do not put any pressure on the Zerg in the first 5 minutes. So both the Zerg and the Terran get the opportunity to just grow bigger and richer pretty damn fast, because there's nothing pressuring them or hurting them, keeping them small for the first 5 minutes. And that is a very important time frame for specifically the Zerg to grow stronger and richer. Because the more drones you can get in those first 5 minutes, the richer you're going to be after those 5 minutes. So we're going to see, is Lucky going to go for fast lair or for more hatcheries and drones? That's kind of what I'm curious about. Which route, which path is he going to take? Which path is he going to take? So Extractor finished up, but he's not putting any drones on the gas yet. Now he is, though. Now he is. I called it too soon. So I do think there's going to be an early lair coming out from Lucky. nOtable going triple barracks this time, not double, but triple. Getting an early gas. Command center finished up. Time to get more supply depots and academies. And after that, I'm not sure what he's going to do. It's all still up in the air. Was for Lucky, I was predicting a fast lair. Yeah, there it is. There's the lair. He is getting a fast lair after all. So yeah, two choices as the Zerg. If the Terran goes for command center first and you scout it, you could either get more hatcheries, or you can just speed up all your technology even more, because you only need one sunken in the front, because attacks are not going to happen. But you do need at least one sunken. You do need at least one sunken. So yeah, Lucky back going for the fast technology. Adding on my hatchery there, though he might add on more while he has a lair. But I think he's going to go for fast hive, and after he gets his hive, that is when he's going to go for more hatcheries, more economy. Not before the hive. I think after the hive, because with the hive, you can very quickly get lurker, swarm, and protector choke. So I think that is what he's going to be aiming for, but I could be wrong. It's just kind of like, that's what I saw in the previous game. Fast, Defiler, Lurker, Swarm on that choke, to make sure nOtable doesn't break into the base. So Marine production has started, and we're on about 9 or 12 Marines. Factory there on the way. Double gas there on the bottom. He got a pretty healthy amount of SCVs, and I'm kind of curious to see, in the previous game, he kind of stopped producing SCVs at 58. Now, is he going to go for more than 58, or is he going to kind of go for the same point, the same number? So Lucky now preparing for Marine Stim, because quite often Terrans will hit with Marine Stim at about 4:30 or 5:30 into the game. So in between the time frame, just get more Sunkens, and maybe send out some Zerglings to scout the map and see what's happening across the map in the opponent's base. So that's what he's doing. Yeah, that's a hive. That's a very fast hive. Queen's Nest there on the side, got a Spire as well. I don't see a Hydralisk Den. So because I don't see a okay, there it is. Every single time I mention something that I'm not seeing, Lucky throws it down and starts morphing it. So I don't want to say we're kind of on the same line, but I feel a connection, you know? I feel a connection between Lucky and I, kind of on the same line, kind of thinking of the same things, we got the same things in mind. Or maybe I've just seen so many games that I kind of now... I'm just expecting things to happen at certain times into the match. So Hive almost finished up. He's going to get Lurkers for sure, because Lurker aspect is morphing, getting some Mulisks as well. And we have a small army of Marines and Medics. Probably going to try to break through that choke, or maybe he's going to wait for a siege tank to roll across the map, because I do see a siege tank there, and it's rolling across the map. So probably going to try to siege push his way through that choke. Whereas Lucky here, finishing up his Mulisks on 30 drones. He really did not drone up that much. He really just wanted to get the fastest technology possible. Gets a good hit off on the tank, but the tank there, well, it's only 3 mutas, so not a lot of damage, but it's a good hit. But now losing Sunkens in the front, Marine's getting pulled in. Lucky very quickly pulling more drones to the choke, because he knows he needs more Sunkens to survive this push, because he doesn't make more Sunkens. And as Marines decide to stim their way through, oh, snipes the tank. Beautifully done. That's going to slow down the push a lot. We're going to have to wait for tank number 2, which is rolling across the map as we speak. Got a science facility there in the back, and a starport as well. Starport number 2 there also getting built. 43 SCVs at the moment and 4 gas. Lucky's getting hatchery number 4 there in the back, and the Father Mount. So yeah, Lurker Swarm, probably what he's planning on. The first Guardians going to see a Great Aspire. Stims. This might have been a bad choice there. This might have been a bad choice. This might be a little bit too over-eager, losing a lot of Marines. He's going to give those mutas a little bit more freedom to maybe attack some stuff, but he decides against it. Decides against it. Consume on the way. Zerking speed as well. Great Aspire almost finished. A couple more Mulisks being added to the Mulisk group. A couple more mutas. Marine's going to... oh, he's going to scout the side, see if there's Overlords somewhere on the map, and hopefully kill them, but Lucky has kept most of his Overlords back at home. Got some scans coming down as well. Scans the back, scans the side. So in the back he sees the Fire Mount, Great Aspire, Hydralisk Den, and that is a Sunken Colony. Currently on 4 gas, so not a lot of gas coming in, not a lot of minerals coming in. Not a lot of minerals coming in either, but he's adding on more hatcheries on either side. He's got 3 here, 4 there. It's going to be a lot of hatcheries. He's got 8 of them in the back, 1 in the front, so 9 in total. That's pretty early for 9 hatcheries. Mulas are flying about. Radiant comes down, kills the mulet instantly. Just bad luck selecting the low HP. If he selected the high HP one, he could have done more damage to the mutas. The Mutas find one SCV, maybe two, don't kill a whole lot, and nOtable goes back for the push across the map. Zergers are killing the turrets on the middle. So yeah, Lucky is using every single little unit he's got, or at least something. 44 drones now for Lucky. 56 there for nOtable, and he's still building SCVs, so I am pretty confident he's going to try to shoot for about 7. Lurkers are moved to the front. There's Vessel in the air there though, so they can't burrow too close to the tanks. Waiting for the Defiler to spawn. It's spawned. Gotta consume something there though to get the I can't pronounce it. To get the Dark Swarm down. I almost said Durka, but yeah. So he's waiting for the tanks to roll forward a little bit more. Guardians are more on the side and in the back there. Tanks slowly progressing. Dark Swarm is gonna be thrown down in front of the tanks. Gets the Dark Swarm right on top of the tanks. Burrows up. Tanks are gonna die pretty quick. Gotta go for a Radiate on the drones. Ignores the Defiler. Shooting for the backside there. Does he have Burrow? No. Yes, he does. He got Burrow. Only one drone gonna go down. nOtable retreated from the middle. Vessel goes down. So the front is secure for now. Has to get more vessels. Got 3 starports. He's getting more factories this time as well. Already on 67 SCVs. And mining from 6 gas in total. So yeah, nOtable's economy is doing way better this time around. With the 1 command center opening. But on the downside, Lucky Bag has never ever been properly attacked or hurt. And Lucky Bag is, as you can see, he's got so much control over what he's doing. In the sense that he's got everything planned out perfectly. Everything planned out perfectly. Getting everything he needs exactly when he needs it. Perfect planning from Lucky. Gonna keep the Dark Swarm up in the front. nOtable building turrets on the sides. Gonna have to find a way in with probably dropships or vessels flying in for radiates from the side. And the Guardians are preventing the turrets from being built, so that's great. Like, when you've got this high APM, and it's pretty much no spam, you can kind of do a lot of things at the same time. Marines are coming in to snipe the Guardians out of the air. 2 go down, number 3 stays alive. Overlord goes down there, though. Vessels are preparing to go in. You got some spores. Like, there's a small little bit of space here to build spores on the extractors without disrupting the gas mining. So it comes in, radiates from the side. That's 1, that's 2. He's gonna go over number 3, burrows them up. Another radiate. So yeah, he kills about 6 there. That's a pretty good one. Pretty good one. Not amazing, but I tend to say pretty good when it kills more than nothing. Because nothing is bad. Something is pretty good. Not very good, but, you know, kind of pretty good. Not very good. Not very good. So he tried, which is important. And the burrow does slow down the mining. Let's get rid of those barracks and open up more space for more factories and starports. It's a lot of... nOtable is a big army, but he just can't get... Oh, wait. Dark Swarm ended. Gets one just in time, radiates on the Defilers and the Guardians. There's only 2 lurkers below the Dark Swarm. If he decided to radiate... Oh, he radiated both the Defilers. And they both go down. Now he can actually put his tanks into the Dark Swarm. But it appears that nOtable doesn't know. nOtable didn't notice that there were no lurkers under the Dark Swarm, so Lucky gets his own lurkers back under the Dark Swarm, which does save Choke. More Marines and tanks come across the map, vessels there move to the side. Probably gonna go for more radiates, or maybe just gonna try to push through the front. But Lucky has once again successfully sealed up the entrance. His base hasn't grown much yet over the past, I'd say, 4 minutes. He's gotten some spores, largely just investing into units and drones. With 81 drones now, he's been droning up pretty damn hard. Overlords on the sides trying to give vision, getting killed by Marines, so that's going to supply block him for a little while. Does he have any dark... Like, there's 1 worker under the Dark Swarm. Maybe, well, 2 of them, actually. He's got 3 vessels. He could radiate those lurkers and break through. One in the back, one outside. If only he noticed the amount of lurkers under the Dark Swarm, he could push through, set his tanks under the Dark Swarm, in the sunken range, but sunkens can't hit under a Dark Swarm. He would be able to push through and maybe win the game. He has to notice that little fact. Gets a good radiate onto the Defiler though, on 2 Defilers in fact. There's a 3rd Defiler still alive, gonna consume and throw down Dark Swarm yet again. Marines are gonna scout. Scans the base as well. Kind of just sees the front there, didn't see anything in the back. So more hatchers coming down in the back there for Lucky Back. He's on 4, 3, 7, and another 4, so that's 11, and that's another 12. 2 graders, 2 spires, 3 Evo chambers. Getting upgrades for ground and for air. He's currently got just 1 carapace for ground and air, but soon we'll have those attack upgrades as well. He started radiating on the lurkers under the Dark Swarm, but another few Dark lurkers get under the Dark Swarm. 2 of them. Radiates on 1. Doesn't radiate on the other one, and a 3rd one enters as well. So yeah, Lucky Back is consistently making sure that there's always 1 or 2 lurkers in the Dark Swarm, preventing nOtable from entering. Although, I think he could just roll those tanks into the corner, kind of like this. Like, ignore the lurkers, just roll right in there, and set up tanks on the sides. Although there's Guardians in the back. He's waiting for the big, massive Guardian attack to clear the middle of the map. Tanks are rolling in, but they're actually rolling into a death trap. They're trapped. Oh, they're running away. nOtable feels that he made a bad choice. All the tanks in front are going to go down. Doesn't have a lot of anti-air. Guardians having the time of their life. Zergans in the mix as well. Tanks are retreating. Marines are steaming forward. The Varus in the air. Tesla's getting taken down. There's pretty much nothing that can kill those Guardians except those Marines. The Marines are not that great at killing Guardians. Although the amount of Marines is pretty great. Level 2 attack there as well. Trying to kill them. Guardians are getting killed by Marines. But the lurkers in the back there provided just enough support to make sure that not enough Marines stay alive. So we've got 3 Guardians in the air. 1 gets radiated as well. nOtable's going to have to replace his lost army pretty damn fast. But lucky he's not going to let him, because he's spamming out Zerglings really quick and sending them across the map to at least keep some pressure up on nOtable, who's trying to keep control over the middle. Tanks setting up there though. Looks like Lucky did. I mean, he killed about 70 supply, but couldn't exactly break further into the middle. So nOtable still has control. Still has control. So this time around we got about 12 lurkers in the front. Double the fighter, throwing down Dark Swarms pretty much all the time. 4 more hatcheries on the way there on the side. Lucky is growing bigger, faster than nOtable. Although nOtable, I'd say that's about 12 factories, not gonna count. Actually, I just counted, it's 12. And there's 4 startboards. Might need more startboards, got 4 armories as well. Base kind of looking like a mess, but he's got everything in order. More factories on the middle, so yeah, that's 20. He's gonna go for 16 factories, might get 20 at some point. It's largely vessel and tanks, no Valkyries on the map yet. A lot of Guardians are morphing in the back. No Devourers in the mix. It's largely Zergling, Lurker, Guardian, and the Fighters. Fighters getting radiated though, they're in the back. Gonna try to throw down one more Dark Swarm, gets it down. The Fighter dies. Now it's time for the vessels. I mean, for the Guardians to move forward, but Goliath on the low ground, providing essential support. Make sure the Guardians don't kill the tanks yet again. Now the Zerglings coming in. The Zerglings are gonna, I wanted to say have a field day, but they died pretty quick as well. But more are coming. Goliaths are gone. Guardians have free game, free play. He's breaking through, pushing through, clearing out the middle, more support, reinforcements coming from behind, vessels coming from the side. Where were they earlier when he needed them? Where were they? So a couple radiates coming down on the Guardians. And he's going to kill those Guardians kind of slowly. Scourges keep coming out. killing one vessel, maybe two, every single time they enter the middle. Mass Zerglings streaming through, getting on top of the tanks. Once they get on top of the tanks are gonna die pretty quick, just like that. The middle has been cleared. More is coming though. Kind of a continuous stream of units from both bases just entering the middle, trying to take over the middle, get control over the game. But whoever controls the middle, I don't want to say controls the game, but has control over a large area of the map. A large area of the map. So Zerglings move to the side, and they kill those turrets. Tank's gonna try to save those turrets. Rebuilding turrets here on the left side. Zerglings are gonna try to prevent that from happening. There's a lot of vessels there. Like, the downside of having vessels as your anti-guardian unit is you gotta kind of select every single vessel to see if they have a radiate or not. So it is kind of a slow process. nOtable's trying to do it as fast as he can, but it does look like he ran out of radiates. And now he's running out of tanks as well. And soon, the lines. Vessels getting chased down by Scourges. Scourges hunting them down. Vessels trying to stay alive. One more goes down. And nOtable is trying his hardest, but he just can't keep up with that production from Lucky. Lucky's got so many hatcheries. So many hatcheries. Keeping up is too damn difficult. Zerglings just keep on coming, and just keep on coming, and just keep on coming. Look at them just keeping on coming across the map. Non-stop attack. The fire goes down, doesn't get a plate, doesn't get a Dark Swarm, which means these tanks do win this fight for now. And a couple more Zerglings move to the sides. He couldn't kill those turrets earlier, he was trying to, but he couldn't quite finish them off. And now another Zergling, the Filer, Guardian attack onto the middle. He gets the Dark Swarm this time around, so the Goliaths not very useful in killing the Zerglings because they simply can't hit them. Mass Vessel on the middle. Guardian's getting irradiated, getting burned to death. Gonna kill those Mutalisks as well. The Zerglings just keep on coming. He's not really building any Lurkers or Hydralisks. And as I say that, there's a couple Hydralisks there in the mix. So yes, he is in fact building Hydralisks. I was wrong. Wasn't expecting them, but there they are. He killed some of his SCVs because he had a lot of money. He killed some of his SCVs. Yeah, this fight goes to nOtable. He's been pushed back from this choke down to the exact middle of the middle. And now Lucky back planning on pushing him back even further with an absolute huge swarm of Zerglings. Mine explodes, kills 20 Zerglings, so that was a great mine. But not enough to save the day, because look at those Zerglings just swarming, breaking everything that comes in their path, just eating them up with the little claws, just hammering, fighting. Dark swarms all over the place. The Filer gets irradiated though. Plague on the vessels. Trying to dance his way out of there. Got some fancy feet. Got some fancy feet. nOtable got the fancy feet dancing around the middle, trying to stay alive with the micro. But the Zerglings on attack move, just keeping up the pressure. Supply is pretty much never going above 170 for nOtable, although there's a small little bit of downtime right now. Got Ultalisks coming out there for Hemorrhoids Man, or a Lucky Man. Although Hemorrhoids, quite unlucky to be honest. So the dropships there are going to go for the tank drop on the drone, but we've got a huge attack happening on the middle. The Filers in the backside there. Going to try to get a Dark Swarm down on the choke. Going to try to prevent it, but no. Dark Swarms are being thrown down, Lurkers are burrowing up. Ultralisk coming into the mix as well. Ultralisk with, I assume, almost maxed out upgrades. 5-3 upgrades are maxed out indeed. He's gonna run him over. Got a tank drop happening there here back at home. Starts unloading the tanks. Gonna try to kill those drones. Drones are running onto the tanks. Does kill a couple of them, but not a lot of them. Meanwhile, here back at home, these Ultralisks are killing your dudes. He's in his base. He's in his base, killing his dudes. And there's pretty much no dudes left to kill. So he calls GG, and that's Lucky back winning game number 2 and also game number 1 for a 2-0 victory over nOtable in his Zerg against Terran. Best of 3, I guess. I guess it was a best of 3. Yeah, beautifully played by Lucky. And I do think nOtable should try to hunt down those drones a little bit more. Maybe build a couple more starports, maybe get more Valkyries, because for large parts of the game, Lucky was not getting devoured. So the Valkyries would have been very helpful against those Guardians. Would have been very helpful. But that's it for today. That's it for today. Lucky beats the nOtable. Very notable victory. And I don't have much else to say, to be honest. I mean, I could try to say something, but I guess it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye.